And welcome to episode 6 of Ctrl Alt Deplete. I am
Mike.
Bucklind on the left side of the screen, and on the right side of the screen, we have Mr. Bioshock.
There, now it's working. Hello.
Yeah, I had to click on it and actually bring you up,
Right,
but now you're
yeah.
there.
Cool beans.
You're frozen in the
And
video, just like you
there's
were in real life. Don't start
yeah,
singing "Let It Go"
cold
on me.
today. What?
I said, don't start singing "Let It Go" on me.
Yes, in my cabin watching Frozen.
And Disney, don't sue me for saying "Let It Go." All right, how are you tonight,
uh,
Bioshock?
Good. I'm finally getting over this flu I've had for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was sick last
uh,
week too. That's why we didn't have a stream last week, or not a stream, but a
Podcast.
yeah podcast, because
Yeah,
I
we're
was
both
sick,
dead.
he was sick, so yeah, we just held off. Wasn't a whole lot anyway. It would have been a short
Yeah, I was gonna say.
podcast,
I
but
was gonna
now
say
we
there wasn't
now
a
we
lot to
have
cover.
all sorts of stuff to go over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just been enjoying the pre-patch and doing practice speed runs. So let's jump
Yeah.
into it. We're gonna cover it was last week, I think, when it came out. We didn't have a chance to talk about it last week, but the episode 3 of the Legacies cinematic. I think maybe
Yeah.
it's the last one because they didn't release one this week, but maybe with the launch. I don't know if they're doing it anymore. If it's just the 3, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know. That third one ended on not a cliffhanger, so that might have been it.
yeah. I was hoping maybe we get like 4 or 5 of them, but
Yeah.
also it's clearly covering Nosdormu and the
Yeah.
Drakthir, so it's not like
Emberthal,
it's
whatever her name is.
right. Yeah, um, it's not covering the different Dragonflights like I kind of thought it might do. Thought they might have one for each Dragonflight, but that's not the case. We did see Razageth though, and then we talked about at the start that maybe we'd see Razageth in those, and
Yeah.
we did. Uh,
Yeah, it was really
so
cool seeing him. Seeing how big he is and the
yep,
power he
yep.
has.
And then you kind of learned a little bit about the history, where
Yeah.
basically Neltharion created the Drakthir to fight against Razageth. Well, to be his army, but they needed them whenever Razageth started attacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I know from some other lore that I've heard and read. It sounds like the reason Razageth was attacking was pretty much because which it kind of makes it seem like Razageth's almost not necessarily a bad guy, but it was that he didn't want um, the Titans to basically be controlling what the dragons are doing, and so he's
Yeah.
kind of like fighting against the order that the
So
Titans wanted.
he's like an anti-hero, not like a
Yeah,
villain, but not a
exactly.
hero. He's kind of like Venom in Spider-Man, where Venom's like
Right.
kind of good, kind of bad.
Yep. He's like, I
Yeah.
want my freedom, and since you're not going to give it to me, I'll just kill everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
so,
he's bad, but he's got some
right.
good intentions, I guess, if you
Yes,
look at it that
just
way.
going around the wrong way about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but who knows? I personally think that we are going to see by the end of this expansion, we're going to see Nosdormu turn into Murazon. That's just my own theory, based off the
That
cinematics we've seen.
Do you think that'll be the last boss or the last boss of the next raid tier?
Um,
Do you see him being the? I don't.
I don't know
Maybe
if he'll be.
sleeper wise, he's actually the last boss of the expansion.
I could see him being the final boss of the expansion, honestly, as Murazon.
I think so too.
Either that, or we'll be fighting something during whatever we are fighting during that final boss is when it'll happen, and he'll like we kill the boss, it gets the final cinematic, and during that cinematic is when he becomes corrupted, and
Yeah.
which based off of the history of Nosdormu, he chooses to accept the old god's power. I think, if I remember correctly, because it was the only way that he felt he could save the time waves or something,
Right.
the timelines. So maybe something's going to happen in that regard. But definitely, I think this expansion is definitely Nosdormu focused as far as the aspects go. I mean, obviously we've had stuff
Yeah.
with the different aspects and everything, but I feel like your end zone, your final zone for leveling, you're dealing with those Dormu. You're going back through time. There's all these things happening with Chromie and the timelines and stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like that's going to be the main theme. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, what story they put forth for him becoming
Yeah,
corrupted.
I, I mentioned it before briefly, but when I was doing a lot of research on the lore for Dragonflight, and it's pretty vague right now.
Right.
There's I don't remember who it was, just a GM or novel, I don't remember. Um, Shout out to both of them. They mentioned that there might be some old god activity in this expansion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that maybe the next tier raid will be an underground empire that's on the Dragon Isles.
Hmm. Could be
That's just
interesting.
what I heard. That'd be interesting. Yeah, because there's like Titan consoles down there, like the dwarfs or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
that are
No.
still like not flesh.
Right. Right. It also could make sense because if Neltharion was in, once he became corrupted by the old gods, he dwelled mainly underground as well. So
Yeah,
it might have something to do with him too, especially if they dig into his, and maybe that's how Nosdormu ends up becoming corrupted. Maybe he is researching and trying to find out what happened all with Rat or um,
with the
with
Therion.
Therion, who becomes Deathwing, and maybe in the process of him maybe Nosdormu is exploring and trying to go through his Neltharion's old, stomping grounds on Dragon Isles, and maybe that's all corrupted by the old gods. Maybe that's when Nosdormu becomes corrupted. Who knows? Also,
Yeah,
I know there are some theories out there that maybe in these cinematics we're seeing, the legacy stuff, that he might already have become Murazan, and that maybe he's actually asking these questions and looking for this stuff as a way to get more power from the old
right.
gods. I don't know that I buy into that theory so much. I don't think he's become Murazan yet.
Yeah.
I think he's on the path to it. I think definitely we're gonna see it by the end of the expansion.
I you know what would be interesting is like if we're going to like this old god scenario, and what if like he sacrifices himself to save us, and that's what turns him.
It's very possible, yeah.
Like some along the lines of that. And I think we should point out Murazon, is that his name?
Yes.
We should probably point out that that's the leader of the
The infinite Dragonflight.
Infinite Dragonflight. For you guys that may have
Yep.
forgotten or don't know, that's Norse Domu is the leader of the Infinite Dragonflight just in the future, right? Is that how it
Yes.
works?
Yes, in the future. So back in Cataclysm, there's a dungeon called End Time. Whenever you're trying to grab the Dragon Soul and everything,
Yeah.
and you fight Murazon at the end of that dungeon, and you kill Murazon. And Norzdomer is there with you, and that's when he reveals like Murazon is him, and that he now knows that his fate is sealed, that he will become Murazon, the leader of the Infinite Dragonflight.
Yeah.
Um, and ever since
That
then,
is good to point out.
yeah, ever since then, Nozdormu has been, and it makes sense. If you find out that you're going to become an evil villain, you're going to want to know why. And he
Yeah.
has been somewhat borderline obsessive with trying to figure out what exactly happened. And
Yeah.
it's understandable though, but it could be that very borderline obsession is what causes him to end up becoming Murazan. But no, I think to your point, my guess is something will happen, where in the only way for him to save the timelines in Azeroth is for him to accept the power of the old gods and become corrupted. But
Yeah.
then, which also kind of brings to the point of what happened with the cinematic. Neltharion, basically, they started losing the battle against Razageth, and whenever things were getting super dire, he basically then and how long he'd been hearing the whispers of the old gods, I don't know. Um, my guess is that he's probably had been hearing the whispers, and they probably offered him power, and he turned it down. But in that moment, he went ahead and accepted the power of the old gods in order to be able to defeat Razageth, and that's when Neltharion became corrupted. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of what the cinematic covers, and it also shows what the Drakthir were created for, and that they're basically a warrior race, but also the interesting thing, and this is what kind of stuck out to me was the Titan artifact that he had that basically gave him full control. Now, this is where I'm like, maybe he was already getting whispers from the old god, or maybe the Titans are a bit darker and not quite the good guys everyone thinks they are. Because why would you have a device that controls an entire race?
Yeah.
Like that's a little
A little bit much.
yeah, a little nefarious in its own
Yeah.
making.
Now, do you have an idea of what old god would be in play here?
Um, I believe it was Yogg Saron that
That's
first
what I
reached out
heard.
to him. I'm pretty sure it was Yogg Saron. Um,
That's what I was
not
thinking.
100% positive, but I believe Yogg Saron was the one that ended up corrupting him from the get go. Now, I honestly think whenever he made the Dragon Soul, I believe, which is originally it was called the Demon Soul because it was to fight against the demons. Um,
Right.
but I want to say that that was maybe multiple of them. Actually, it was in Zoth that was who corrupted Deathwing. Now, whether or
Yeah.
not that was, yeah, it sounds like it was more all of them that kind of got him to create the Demon Soul. Whether or not it was Inzoth who reached out to him during this part or not, I don't know. Um, I know Yogg Saron is who was responsible for corrupting um, uh, Galakrond. I know Yogg Saron was who was responsible for corrupting Galakrond. We talked about that in the last podcast, I think. Um, Galakrond was corrupted by drinking waters that were corrupted by Yogg Saron.
Right.
And that is revealed during this expansion. So, spoiler, delayed, spoiler alert, whatever. If you watched last podcast, you saw the spoiler anyway. But yeah, no. So Inzoth is who corrupted Deathwing, but I do think they all kind of had a part to play in it. I don't think it was necessarily an individual one. I feel like it was more of a team effort. um,
Yeah.
but no, it's just interesting. Like the artifact, like if it was a Titan artifact and the Titans actually created that to control them, which to be fair is becoming a bit on par with the Titans. I think it's one of the things they're going to explore with this expansion is the Titans are not necessarily this great benevolent being that we're used to thinking them as, but they had a little bit of their own, just kind of we're better than everybody, we should control everything type deal.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna kind of explore that, I think, with this expansion and learn more about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't watched the third Legacies video, go watch it. It's really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
And then we also had another video that they released for the pre-patch launch. You will go through that one a little bit.
The dwarf and the troll.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's nothing special. It was okay, I guess. It just kind of shows you this dwarf and the troll, doing the dragon riding in the Isles. And they're flying around and just just enjoying themselves. Then out of nowhere, Razziath comes and almost eats them up, and they fly away and do all those maneuvers. And Razziath, still in his mighty self, was chasing them. And I think that's about it. There wasn't really much to it.
Yep, yeah, it's just kind of a pre-launch or pre-patch phase 2 introducing Drakthir
Yeah.
type thing. I know there's a few in-game cinematics that I don't think we've seen yet, just because we had our cinematic canceller on. So
Yeah.
I think later on, either tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to level up an Evoker and catch some of those cinematics and stuff. We'll see.
There's some good ones. Yeah.
But man, it was just a fun little cinematic. I liked it. It's nice. Anytime they give us a high res cinematic like that, I'm going to be happy. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, they're great.
I
Um,
mean, WoW could make a really good animated movie if they
oh
wanted
yeah,
to.
oh yeah,
They,
yeah. No,
I know it'd be a lot of work and a lot of money, but I think that would do a lot better than their live action movie.
Oh yeah, let Taron Gregory have at it. Let him make a TV show or a movie.
Yeah, that'd be really
I
cool.
think I think that yeah, their high res cinematics are fantastic, among the best out there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Are we jumping into the collector's box, or are we doing that later?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. So, yeah,
Sure.
we've
All right, I
got
got it ready.
yep, we've got our collector's editions. So we're gonna do a special
I'm hyped.
unboxing for you guys on the podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see this. If you're listening on Spotify or RSS feed or Apple to iTunes, I think it's also on Amazon Music or Amazon Podcast or something. I'm not 100% sure, but if you're listening on one of those, well, you can just listen along. Sorry, you don't get to see all this beautiful stuff. Or when you're done, you can go check out the video on YouTube and see these awesome things.
It's really cool.
All right, go ahead and take it away,
So,
Vile. You take us through
let's.
this.
All right, we're gonna start with the box. I'm showing you the back because the whole thing is just beautiful.
Oh, mine has a
So we
piece of
got.
paper on the back.
So the back is like that, and the front is got the Dragonflight on it. It's all
Yep.
colorful,
Yeah,
and it's
mine
like
disappears so you
very
can't see my
colorful.
face.
All right, now to open it, we have our first item, which is the art book, and I didn't expect there to be this much art, and I think it's really cool to have this much art. So this is the book, the cover.
Yeah. I also just want to point out the inside. Can you show them the inside of the box, the logo? I thought it was
Yes,
really good looking. I know that the Shadowlands one was not that great. It was super dark and hard to see. This one's nice and colorful and a little light blue and the gold ring. I like it a lot. All right, carry on with the book. I really like the emblem. It looked really good in my opinion.
can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my box fell out a little bit. And my mic turned off for a second.
Nice.
That was weird. Yeah, so this is the inside of the box. We have the mouse pad and the letter. Okay. I'll open up and just show a couple pictures of the book. I'll just randomly open it up to a page. Ooh, like this. Beautiful. We got a Tuskar here.
Yes, Tuskar. Very nice.
Yep. What else we got? It's kind of cool.
Some Titan constructs in mine. They've got all sorts of
We got
cool art in there and stuff. Definitely really awesome.
and it's got so much art. And not only does it
Yes.
have art, but it has like lore in it too.
Yep, there are. One second here. There are. Let me look and see. You've got 205 pages of artwork in there. So
Yeah,
a
that's
ton
beautiful.
of art. It's really cool. All the concept art, different art they've used, stuff. So
All right, next on the agenda, we have the mouse pad. I was excited for this.
me too. I need a new one.
Me
Actually,
too.
no, mine's actually alright. I got one with Shadowlands, but
Now you can see the Altraza there on the front. They're in their
I can't get mine
mortal
out.
form and their dragon form.
There we go. Yep.
Oh, it's beauty. What
It
a
is a very
beauty.
cool mouse pad. I like it.
Oh.
My son can have my Shadowlands mouse pad.
All right, next is the pins. These pins are sick.
They are.
We got
I will say I think that this because I got the collector's edition from Shadowlands and from BFA. I think this one definitely beats out the Shadowlands one. Like everything in here, like it's similar stuff. The Shadowlands one had an art book and mouse pad and the pins, but these are all just better than the Shadowlands ones were.
we got Kalagos pin, a Ysera pin, Altraza pin, Nosdormu pin, and a Rathion pin.
Yeah, I really like how the texture. I was telling you this earlier. The textures on the inside are like raised and like they have you
Yeah.
can't feel it, but like it's got the glass over it. It looks really good. I really like these pins. I've never really cared about pins, but these are actually really good. Yeah, they've got the 5 different dragon aspects. You got Kalagos, Ysera, Alexstrasza, Nostormu, and Rathian.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Is that a spoiler? Did they inadvertently spoil who's going to be the leader of the Black Dragonflight?
Yeah, because between Rathion and Sibelian, right?
Right. I don't know because they still have Ysera, so maybe they just chose the most well-known figures
Right.
that
Yeah.
are.
And last thing in the bundle, we have our invitation to Hogwarts. It is the
Yes.
envelope. Even the envelope's cool. I'm showing it. It's like it's not a big deal. It's like it's got our collector's code in it to
Yeah, it's
get
just got
the loot
paperwork and
stuff.
stuff in it. But yeah, no,
It's
the
just the envelope
envelopes.
itself is nice.
Yep, that was something I noticed on the BFA one when I first got the BFA. Like, it was really cool looking. I was like, that's super fancy, even just for an envelope.
Yeah,
No, they go all out for their collector's editions. And of
put it
course, the
all
collector's
back.
editions also come with all the in-game items that you get with the deluxe and epic editions. All the other the lesser, um, not lesser. That sounds wrong, but essentially the less expensive editions. You get all the rewards that those come with as well with the collector's edition. And if
Yeah,
you've
we get the Time
if
Walker's Hearthstone.
and if you have bought the collector's edition, and then you have also already bought one of the digital editions, whether it's the Epic or Digital Deluxe or whatever they are, um, whenever you use the game code for this, you will get a refund and BattleNet in your BattleNet account for whatever amount of whatever other one you had already purchased. So if you've already purchased the $80 one, you'll get $80 in BattleNet in your BattleNet wallet, or you'll get 45 or 60, whatever level you bought, you'll get that refunded whenever you put this code in. You can
Yeah,
use that for anything in the BattleNet shop, mounts, pets, cosmetics, gold, whatever. Um, so yes, don't worry. Like if you ended up buying both of them, you could still get both of them. You just get your money back for the first one. But yes, the collector's edition, very awesome. I
it is my
started.
it's my
Go ahead.
first collector's edition, and I'm very happy I forked out the money for it.
Right. Yep. I started getting them back in BFA. I've actually, I right back here. I've got them on my desk, and I'm gonna have to figure out another spot to put them. But I've got the Battle for Azeroth Collector's Edition, and I've got the Shadowlands Collector's Edition because I started getting them in Battle in BFA. Um,
Right.
I would absolutely love to sit here and say I'm going to try to collect all the collector's editions and grab them. But dude, like it's if you want a collector's edition from like Wrath or something like that, they're like 800, 900, $1,500 to get them
Jeez.
because people will resell them, and and now that you
Yeah.
can't get them anymore, they're super valuable. Actually,
Yeah.
let me see here. If I wanted to get a Wrath of the Lich King collector's edition, that would be on Amazon. The cheapest copy I can find is 450,
Yeah.
and they're normally like 110. Uh, I do kind of regret not getting the 15th anniversary collector's edition, um, because they made like a World of Warcraft 15th anniversary collector's edition. I do kind of regret not getting that one because that one I almost got, but I decided not to. But it would have
Mm.
been cool.
Yeah. All right. So I guess the next thing to talk about is the pre-patch invasions.
Yes. So yeah, Tuesday pre-patch started a couple days ago, right? Yeah, it's
Yep.
Thursday. Yes. Okay.
And
I don't know what day it is.
you go out into the world, you see in your map, you got different nodes in Northern Barrens, Ungral Crater, and Badlands.
Yep.
And they just cycle through every 3 hours, I think it is, of like Earth, Fire, Water, and Storm. And you can get your essence called the Primeval Essence. And you turn that in for gear. It's catch-up gear, 252 item level. It's not crazy high, but it's something.
Yeah.
And if
It
you're
helped my monk
collecting,
out.
if you're collecting like I did, you can get all the transmog as well. That'll be gone when the expansion drops.
Right.
Not the. I have to clarify this. The gear itself is like that. Is does not. You can get it in the expansion. It's just you can't get a certain color.
Yeah. It's
Because
just
if you look in game and you go to your tab, you can see the cyclonic battle gear for like male or whatever, trailblazer or whatever it is, and you can see there's like 5 different versions of the gear. The primal storms is the one you can get right now, and that color will be gone in the expansion, but the other ones you can get still.
right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
also the way that the invasions are working is You go there, and it's roughly every 15, maybe 20 minutes or so, the boss
Yeah,
will spawn. But when the boss is not there, there's just little ads that are spawning constantly.
yeah,
The normal ones don't usually drop the primeval essence, but the elites will typically give you 1 to 3 essence, sometimes 5 if you get really lucky. Um,
yeah.
and then after a while, you just go. Basically, everyone's just going around farming them, collecting the essence and stuff. After a little while, the boss will spawn, and he'll have the shield on him. It'll be a bar at the top of the screen that says 100 out of 100. And as you keep killing all these different elites and stuff, that bar decreases. Also, while the bosses spawn, they'll get certain even like I don't exactly know what to call them because you already have the elites, but they're like elite. So
Yeah.
they're like mini bosses kind of that come out, and those will give you 5 to 7 essence sometimes. It just depends. But you kill those, and then once that bar gets down from 100, it's down to 0. Then the boss, all the ads suddenly become like locked in place and like unattackable, and then the boss is there, and you take down the boss. When the boss dies, you loot it. You'll get about close to 30 primeval essence. If it's the first time you've killed one, you'll get a quest that'll give you like I think 60. I think right, wasn't it?
For
Six.
what?
When the first time you kill one of the bosses, the primal
Yeah,
lords, it gives you a
you get an
quest.
item that, yeah, it's one of the items it gives you is a 60, yeah, essence, yeah, and you could do the first quest to get 10 of the whatever it's called from killing just ads,
Yep.
and that gives you 30, and you can do it one more time afterwards, so you get 60 from that, 60 from the boss, so you get 120 really easily
Yes,
on your
and
own.
that second time is actually a daily quest. I read that yesterday when I was looking into more into it. It's a daily quest, so every single day you can actually go back and do that. Collect 10 essence, and then you'll get
Oh,
30,
okay.
or yeah, 10 primal essence, and then you get 30 of the primeval essence that you
Right.
can use to send to alts. So that's actually a daily quest, which is cool.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, each time that you kill the boss, you'll get roughly 25 to 30 primeval essence. But you also there's a toy you can get. I don't think I've gotten the toy yet. And then there's the heirloom that you can get. The heirloom you get by killing each boss and looting off the.
The
I don't remember what
dim
it's called.
primeval earth, or
Yes.
water, or storm, or
Yeah,
fire. You
it's a
need all
dim.
four.
Yep, it's a dim primeval, and then whatever the elemental type is that you're killing, you will get that. Once you get all four, you click on them and it combines them and turns them into the heirloom. Which the heirloom, I saw a lot of people complaining this heirloom isn't even that good. It's because it's an heirloom. It's not meant to be used at max level. It's
Yeah, it's a
meant to be used for
leveling
leveling up.
thing.
And I will tell you right now, as a speedrunner, this heirloom will be getting used on any speedruns because it does damage, and very
Yeah,
few heirlooms do damage. Most of the heirlooms, like right now, the heirlooms that I use for speedruns, all they do is when you kill an enemy, you get 2% of your health back. Just
yeah,
okay, cool. It's nice self survival, self sustain, but having an heirloom that'll do damage, all for it. That's going to help with speedruns and stuff. So it's a very good heirloom for leveling. Um, So definitely go out
yeah,
and get that. I know I've got 3 of my 4. I think you've got 3 or 4. You need the fire one. I need the earth one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll be farming those later. Right now, none of the right now only the water and the storm
And
one
the
are up,
storm. Yeah,
which is a little
but
weird. I don't think that you should have 2 of the same type and up at the same time. I think it should be always 3 types up, but
yeah,
it
I
appears that
agree.
that's not the case. Basically, every 3 hours it rotates and the ones will change, which by the time we're done the podcast, it should change and we'll see if maybe we can get ours up that we need.
Yeah. Next we have the Old Mod dungeon. No, we haven't really been able to do it yet, just because we were busy
Right.
lately with speed leveling, and then now the podcast today.
Yep.
But we plan on doing it this weekend with my parents,
Yep.
which should be fun, and then we'll talk about it more next week. But from what I've seen, it's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be fun,
Right. Yeah. It's probably just like a normal
like a
difficulty
heroic.
dungeon. Yeah. It might. Yeah. I'd say
Yeah,
heroic would probably be the hardest difficulty would be.
yeah,
So like your 252 gear that you get from the pre-patch, that should be easily more than enough to go and do the dungeon. Honestly.
yes, because the dungeon itself is it drops loot 250, so your
Oh yeah.
252 is
Yeah.
more than enough. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so
All the
that's
gears 250 from Oldemon.
gotcha. So that would be basically, I think that's the equivalent of a normal dungeon, because I think heroic drops 260 now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Yeah, it's just easy. It gives you a little bit of a taste of what's to come because that's one of the dungeons in the Mythic rotation.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I mean,
it'd be heroic level. Heroic dungeons drop 249 right now, so yeah.
okay. Yeah. So it's heroic then.
But heroic
Yeah.
is very, very easy, especially if you have anybody. If you have even one person that is decently geared from Shadowlands, that's going to make the dungeon a breeze.
Yeah.
Um,
And don't don't think like I at first when they announced the old one, I was thinking, wow, really? Just another old dungeon? But the
it's not.
rework for it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
The
Actually,
layout of the dungeon's interesting. The fights are good. It's just nice. The whole new dungeon basically.
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that I don't know if I've done the original Oldemon dungeon.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this is more of like it's actually, I guess, less of a return to Karazhan and more of just
right.
like, we're going to the same place, but it's a different dungeon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, which is it's good. I've liked it the few times I've ran it. It's not a bad dungeon. It's easy to miss the second boss. Just as a heads up. I know the first like 3 times we did
The
it, we went like there's
past the three dwarfs.
yeah, you look like you're going
Yeah, that's the
down.
first boss.
Okay, yeah. It the path of the dungeon looks like you go right past it, and it's real easy to miss that doorway.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. But yeah, it's a fun dungeon. I like the three doors because they're the Lost Vikings
Yep. Yep.
from which is one of Blizzard's original games
First
way back
games.
in the day. I think that actually was. I want to say
They're
that was their
first.
very first. Yeah. Um, which is cool. I don't know if they still have the BattleNet arcade or whatever, but I think they had the BattleNet arcade for a while, where you can go. Yeah, they have the Blizzard arcade collection. You can actually go and play that game. They have Lost Vikings on there. If you have BattleNet and stuff, it's all free, I believe. Um, yeah, they've got all their original games on there. It's really cool. I know that's a little side note. But yeah, they've got the Lost Vikings, just like a platforming Mario Brothers looking type game and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Anyway, got a little distracted there. But yeah, so get your catch up gear. And then the other big thing that we have is evokers are now playable.
Woo! Woo!
I know Bio has been playing his evoker pretty much nonstop.
Yep.
Um, I'll level up one probably tomorrow morning after I take kiddo to school. I'll probably come home and then play that. So we'll see.
Yeah, with like the changes they brought out recently to Evoker and the buffs to like their Pyre with volatility and stuff like that for AoE, it makes them really strong and it's like a very fun playstyle. Like, and I didn't like it when I first tried it, and I said on one of our first podcasts, like, you know what, Evoker's so dumb. I did not like it. But I found like the correct talent build. I've been practicing a lot, and so I know the rotation.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. I love it, and especially I did a lot of PvP recently, and being like 270 item level, and people like 290, I'm still one shotting them. It's crazy. Not, but that one shot's like every 2 minutes. But I mean, like the damage outside of one shot's still really good. It's just fun to like destroy somebody with a one button.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I haven't tried it yet. I will start one probably tomorrow, and then I will have to have you help me figure out what build I'm supposed to use.
Yeah.
but uh, but no, I think they have something where you can turn the new mechanic of like where you hold the button down to charge it up. I think they said they have something you can turn that off. I don't know if I don't think that mechanic itself is what made me not care for Evoker too much. I think it's just the whole play style. I didn't like it. Um,
Right.
but we'll see. You know, I might test it out with that on or off and see if it changes the feel at all. I don't know.
The
But
the the nice thing with Fire Breath and Eternity Surge is the ones you hold down. You can just click it once and not hold it down, and it'll cast to a power level 1, and stop and unleash after that.
gotcha.
And then you
Interesting.
just hold down for higher. Now the
Okay.
reason why one power is stronger than say 3 or 4, for example, with Fire Breath, is A level 1 Fire Breath does little upfront damage with a strong dot. So you want something, if it's high health or going to live for a while, you want the dot on.
Right.
And if it's about to die, and or multiple ads about to die, you can charge up to level 4 if you're running the talent, or 3. And
For
the
like an
upfront damage,
execute.
yeah, the upfront damage is a lot stronger, and the dot's a lot weaker.
Nice.
So it's just situational, which is cool.
Yeah,
'Cause
I like that.
that's not how it was when I first started playing Evoker. It
Well,
was like
yeah, when it
you're
first was, it was basically just the longer you hold it down, the more stronger everything
stronger.
is. Which,
Yeah,
I mean, basically kind of defeats the purpose of having different levels because you're just then making you hold down a button the whole time. Um,
yeah.
so you know,
Now,
I like that. So it's a little more variant and just situational. So if you need this, you do 1 power. You need this, you do 3 power. You know, yeah, I like that.
yeah, yeah, and the Trinity Surge, the other channel ability, or the one you power up, its damage is the same with a level 1 to level 4 charge. The only difference is how many targets it hits. So
Gotcha.
it goes up. There's 4 levels. It goes up by 2. It goes 2, 4, 6, 8. And so if you have a lot of ads, you'll channel and get 8 targets hit. Or you just, if there's like 1 or 2 targets, you just click it once, and all the damage is the same for Trinity Surge. So it's,
Right. It just
yeah,
depends on how many targets. This is good. That's a good
it's,
way to do it.
yeah. There's some good changes for Evoker, and I think now that people are getting the hang of it and learning how to play it, it's it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was weird because like evokers felt like they weren't as strong as other
Yeah,
classes, and I mean, listen, you can call it a flaw, but I don't personally think it's a flaw. But what Blizzard has always done with their hero classes, such as DK and then Demon Hunter, is when they first come out, they're super OP
yeah.
because they want people to play it. They want people to try the new class. It's the new thing. It's a hero class. They want it to feel stronger. And I didn't get that with Drakthir, the Evoker.
It's
I
it's
didn't get that feel.
mine from what I've been seeing, like tier list wise, they're still not the strongest class. Like
Right,
they're no,
but
by no, other than no
but
means are they like, holy crap, they're like the next Death Knight or the next Demon Hunter. Like it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
the case.
But it also
Like they're
felt like
definitely.
they were not just average, but it felt like they were weak compared to the other
Yeah,
classes at
oh, I
first.
agree.
And
Yeah,
so at least bringing them to where they're on par with the other classes is definitely good. Because what you
yeah.
don't want is to have a brand new class that you know everyone's going to want to try out and just have it be a sucky class that is bottom of the charts every single.
Kind of like Monk in their first season and Mop.
Right.
Well, Windwalker, Mistweaver was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
But
Mistweaver
yeah,
was pretty good.
I played a
Mistweaver's
lot of Windwalker back in the day, and I tell you, like it was. I only did PvP on it, and it was hard.
right.
Um, and they got buffed later on, and I did really well with it. But for like that first like couple months, the Windwalker was just not good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how Windwalker does this expansion. So I definitely want to try him out a bit and kind of get used to him and figure out a leveling system with Windwalker because I think Windwalker has really good potential for speed runs.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so basically right now you got your pre-patch out. Go if you haven't already done it. Get your evoker leveled up. Um, get geared up on your alts that are already max level. If you're not max level and you still need to level up your alts, these invasions are really
They're
good for
good.
leveling. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how much XP they're giving because I don't have any alts that aren't max level right now. I did that before
Yeah.
already, but if you're doing the invasions, you see people left and right dinging, leveling, through doing the invasions. My guess is it's similar to the Legion invasions, where like if you were level, what was the level? Those 90 to 100. You're level 100 for the Legion invasions, so 90 was like the cat was the WAD max level, or
Yeah.
no, that was Cataclysm max level, right? No,
Cataclysm was 85.
yeah, and then Mop brought it to
Mop was
90.
90.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if you were still like level 90 and then you did a Legion invasion, you get to like level 92. Um, and even now the Legion invasions are good, are decent XP because they do still have the
Yeah.
Legion invasions, but they had like the pre-invasion stuff were huge fast leveling. You could probably get like if you're level 50 and you haven't progressed through Shadowlands at all, you can probably get like 2 levels every time that you kill, every time you do the invasion or stuff. Or I don't know exactly what the XP is, but you get a good amount of XP from doing the invasions. So you know, have no fear. Go and level up in these invasions. Uh, get your gear. get everything set for get ready for Dragonflight launch, which is in a week and a half.
Yeah. Not to try and correct you, but after Mop was WAD, so WAD was the was 100 to 110, which Legion was.
No.
You,
Mop was so Cataclysm was 85 was the max, and then Mop was
Mop was
90,
90,
and then
and then
WAD was
WAD
90
was
to
100.
100. Yep.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, you would have been like if you hadn't had leveled up, you probably would have been about 90 or so whenever you were doing the Legion invasions, because
Right.
that would mean you hadn't leveled up from WAD, which I mean a lot of people skipped. Well, didn't skip WAD, but played it for half a week and then stopped.
Yeah, that's when I quit. The only time I ever quit WoW was during WAD.
Honestly, I don't say that I quit WoW, but it's the only WAD is the only time that I did not have an active subscription since the time that I started. Because there's about a 6 month span, and this is probably a year into WoD. Like I think it was a year and a couple months into WoD. So I played WoD, but during that stretch, because I think it was like a year and 3 months or something where there was no content added, and during that stretch, I did end up because I just after a couple months I hadn't been playing it, so I went ahead and canceled my subscription, and then I came back about 2-3 months before Legion launched. Um, and then I don't think I've ever canceled my WoW subscription since then. I've had it
Yeah,
active
as
the
I
entire
come
time.
back, I've had it active always.
Yeah, yeah, and I personally like I look back at WoD. I think the end game was terrible, and I think that's why they have issues with WoD and why people didn't like it. I think the raids were subpar. I think the Hellfire Citadel was actually a good raid.
Well, they had another whole raid ready, but they just scrapped it.
Yes, yeah, they gave up on WoD because it was failing badly, and so they scrapped any work that they were doing, and then because there was supposed to be a whole big patch and new zones and stuff,
I
and
heard
they
it was
just
gonna be a new legendary, like how the House Scream's axe was gonna be a legendary. I thought
possible, yeah, but yeah, they scrapped all of it and just jumped straight into Legion, which Legion
Legion was good.
I also had heard that like Legion, and I don't know how accurate this is. I'd heard that Legion was kind of supposed to be like part of the second, like the a later patch in um, WoD, like the Legion coming back and stuff wasn't really originally supposed to be its own expansion. It was supposed to be part of WoD, but I think and it's supposed to be much smaller. I think, um, but basically because of how WoD was doing, they scrapped everything that left for WoD and then made Legion its own expansion and kind of expanded Legion to an extent. Again, that might not be 100% accurate, but I've heard that multiple times. I've heard that was kind of the case. Um, I don't know to what extent. It may have been more like, hey, we're like the first part of Legion would be what was going to be in WoD. I don't know exactly how it all went down.
Yeah,
Um, but no, like I think with WoD, the dungeons are terrible. Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna like I didn't mind doing them at the time, but I don't like doing old WoD dungeons. Um, the raids were whatever. There's nothing memorable from the end game. I don't know.
yeah.
I know Ashran was a failure at first. I think they
It was
fixed it a
awful.
bit, and it's not so bad after some changes they made later on. Again, I didn't do PvP, so I don't know. Um, but I will say to me, WoD, their leveling system and the storytelling that they did, because that was the expansion where they really started doing in-game cinematics, just tons of them, and the storytelling, have a really story-driven um, leveling system and everything. It was fantastic. Leveling in WoD to me is fantastic. I know you aren't a big fan of it, but I like the storytelling. I don't care necessarily for the zones themselves that much, but I like the way they told the story. The music from WoD is fantastic. I am one of the people that I love the garrisons. I thought the garrisons were awesome.
I hated them.
I think there's a lot more they could do with the garrisons, but I liked having my own place that I could go and arrange in the way I wanted it. I loved having a garrison. I've got a bank there. I've got an auction house there. I've got,
That's why
barracks.
people didn't like it though, because there's no interaction with other people anymore.
Yeah, but I don't like interacting with people, so it fit for me.
Like
Um,
it's the idea is cool. I think you should have it like how New I don't know you never played New World, but they had like this housing system where you could buy a house
yeah.
and like put furniture and like
Yep.
like memorabilia all around it and stuff, and like make it really cool.
Yes.
That would have been cool if you could do that in like a main city like Stormwind or Orgrimmar, like have like a little house that you can like load
Oh yeah.
into.
Here.
Uh,
So here's
with
here's
without a bank, auction house, that kind of stuff. 'Cause then yeah, I don't know.
so here's what I think. Um, and I player housing has been a big contention point between players and the devs because the players have been screaming for years. I mean, I'm talking even with WAD before WAD, they were screaming, "We want player housing. We want player housing," and Blizzard has basically been like, "We could give you player housing." But it would cost you a raid tier because we can't do both. We have to either player housing would take so much work that we would basically you would have another WAD where you're not going to have any new content other than the player housing. But let me tell you, if you had a final patch that all it was player housing, people would be happy with it. But also, here's my theory. Let's renovate Goldshire, or not Goldshire, but Elwyn Forest. Let's renovate Elwyn Forest, and make that an area where you can have player housing in there or something. Like some of these starting areas, starting zones. A lot of the old zones don't see any playthrough. You could honestly have a lot of player housing put into other to old zones,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't even have to be right near the big cities. They could be whatever. You could have some player housing in the cities. I think it'd be hard to fit it in, but you could have it, and maybe have that like more expensive player housing to get in there. Like that's the premier player housing is in the city.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they have it like how Instance works with like the loading screen, and everyone has the same little area. Well, not everyone has the same
right,
one, but I
yeah,
have like a couple around, price range
yeah.
different, and then like different
So,
looks and
and
stuff.
I don't know. Have you ever played Final Fantasy? The
A
the
little bit,
the online one. So
a
their
little bit.
player housing, you actually have like a whole district there where there's like 40, 50 houses there that you could see 40 or 50 different houses there, and it's a whole district, and all it is player housing. So you actually have like a neighborhood and all this stuff. Now inside that housing, there's all sorts of different. I don't really fully understand how the rest of it all works, but I know walking around, like, you have a whole section, this whole zone is nothing but player housing, and you could do something like that. Maybe they make a new zone, I don't know, but they could easily do something like that. Obviously, I'm not I say easily, but like it would be a lot of work, but like you could add that in there and fit places. You could find that in there really easily,
Yeah,
um, in places to put it. I think it'd be really cool. I think it would be beneficial just for WoW as a whole to get player housing, honestly. um, I mean, especially if they have a situation like with WAD where they just kind of gave up on it and started working
yeah,
towards the
because
next expansion. Like you have,
in
yeah,
in WoD, Hellfire Citadel last it was a year long.
yeah, yeah. No,
Like that's
so
horrible.
both the final raid for Miss Pandaria and the final raid for WAD, both of those were super long times. Um, I think the what's the final one called in Miss
And which
Pandaria? It's one where you fight Garrosh at the end.
oh, that's Siege of Orgrimmar.
Yes, that's right. Siege of Orgrimmar was also lasted for over a year. That was the only raid. And then WAD. I think in MOP, I think they had like a little half content patch, but like you still just had the same raid for a year, over a year. But WAD, I think part of it was the fact that people were already angry about how long it took from the final raid in WAD and how long it was for, or a final raid in MOP before how long it took for WAD to come out. And then when WAD came out, we did it again and had that super long wait time.
Yeah,
That's when they really started going, all right, we need to kind of either stretch out our patches so that we have the same number of patches, but they last longer. So there's less time between the expansions. It's difficult to say what all they were trying to do. Um, but no, I think having player housing would be really good for the game. I think it's something that I know from Blizzard's perspective, they keep looking at it and going, well, if we're going to do player housing, it's going to sacrifice this work. It doesn't have to. you can bring in a team. Listen, Activision has tons of money. They're about to get $70 billion from Microsoft buying them next year. And honestly, I
Yeah.
will say, I do think when Microsoft buys them, I think we're going to get player housing and expansion shortly after that, because I think Microsoft is going to come in and say, do player housing, because they already have player
Yeah.
housing with Elder Scrolls Online. Um,
Right.
and I think that they would. I think we'll see player housing probably in the next expansion. I think whether it's halfway through that expansion, I don't know, but I do think that this is gonna. I think we will get player housing in our next expansion. Um,
Yeah. Um. All right. Yeah.
but yeah, no,
We'll just move on. Just do a quick recap of what to do pre-patch right now. You got the invasions. You got evokers. You got Oldemon. Get out there, do that stuff. Have fun because the expansion drops in
week and a
a little
half.
less than 2 weeks.
Yep, yep. Um, which, speaking of the launch night,
Oh yeah.
Bioshock and I will be streaming. We'll be doing
Yep.
24-hour streams and having our race for world first.
Yep.
There's some more information that might be coming out on that here in a week or
Probably
probably
next week.
next
Yeah.
podcast. Hopefully I'll get some official news between now and then, and I can actually announce it. I've been checking every day, every day. I've been checking every hour to see if there's if there's been an official announcement yet. But some exciting news coming up soon. Once
Yep.
there is an official announcement, can't wait to share that with you guys. Um, but yes, regardless, launch night, Bioshock and we will be live. I know I'll be on probably an hour or so before the expansion goes
Same.
live.
Yeah.
The 24-hour clock, we'll start that expansion. I'm going to go from 6 p.m. Eastern time that night until 6 p.m. the next night. And
Yeah.
we're going to level up as many tunes as we can. Not necessarily speed running all of them. The very first one, we are going to be trying to get fast as we can and trying to get that world first 70. Will we hit it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a slim chance. I think there'll be somebody that'll beat us probably, because there'll be different strats that people can do that we just don't have the resources for.
Yeah.
But
Or
but
the
we're
following.
we're gonna be we're gonna be very close behind them. Whoever does get it, I think we'll be very, very close.
Yeah.
Um, I know we did a practice run last night. It was our best time, and it was really good time too. I think we'll be able to improve even more on that, and definitely pick up the pace even some more. And I've got a few ideas, tricks, and things to do that can shave off a few minutes here and there, so that'll be fun. But yes,
Yeah. We
join
had
us in
a.
the stream. After we do our first one, the second character that we level will be kind of relaxed and watching cinematics, hanging out, just having fun with it. And then we'll probably get. I'm gonna try to get 2 more in before the 24 hours is up, but we'll see. My goal is to get 4 characters done. We may only
Yep.
fit
Same.
3 in. We'll see.
Yeah. That's. I guess we're basically doing our week out before the add-on, which is okay. But yeah. 24-hour streams. We're leveling double Demon Hunter. Then some alt after that. I know I'm gonna be leveling the Evoker second because hell yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I just love
yeah.
Evoker.
What are
Yeah.
you gonna level first? Go ahead and go through the 4
Oh
tunes you're
yeah.
planning on
So
leveling.
so I got Demon Hunter first for speed leveling. Just makes sense. They are the best at AoE, I think.
Yep. Yep.
And they have
And
some
and
really good
mobility.
survivability. And
Yeah.
mobility, yeah.
Yeah.
Their survivability is like unmatched when you pull in like 50 mobs.
We have had some massive pulls.
Insane pulls. And they come
Yes.
fast too.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's the thing. I think that I think Demon Hunter really excels at that other classes just can't do is that if you pull, let's say, I mean, we've had several pulls. I would say we probably have 25 to 30 enemies,
Yeah.
and our health starts decreasing, and it really is a race, because as
Yeah.
soon as enemies start dying, demon hunters become unkillable, because
Yeah.
as soon as an enemy dies, it generates a soul fragment which heals you for 25% of your health. So 4 enemies dying will fully heal you. And with
And
AoE we
this
have,
leech.
yeah, with the AoE we have, it's ridiculous. No other class. Monk has the most similar thing. because they have the little orbs, but it doesn't heal you as much as the
Oh, not nearly.
yeah, not
Yeah.
nearly as much as Demon Hunter. I mean, it's crazy. Once if you pull a big pack of 30 mobs, as long as you can start killing them before they kill you, you just become unkillable because you're constantly generating soul fragments. And even
Yeah.
if you're talented into the Chaos Nova and you use the secondary talent that will cause Chaos Nova to generate soul fragments, sometimes have a chance to generate soul fragments. If you are getting low on health and they're not starting to die, hit that Chaos Nova. You'll get about 5 or 6 soul fragments and instantly be healed. Um,
Yeah.
it's just there's so much survivability with it. It's great.
Yeah.
But
So
what's
I
yep.
leveling Demon Hunter first, Evoker second, Feral third, and if we do a fourth that night, it'll be Shadow Priest.
Yes, yep. And then for myself, number one, Demon Hunter, because
Just
hello,
can't beat it.
it's Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter. Like, yeah, that's me. That's Demon Hunter is all I play. So yeah, Demon Hunter, and then probably the Monk second, and then Hunter third, and the fourth will either be a Mage or a Druid. I haven't decided yet, um, but it'll be one of those two. So,
Right.
but my plan is for that first week to get everything max level anyway. I want to
Yeah.
get all my alts max level that very first week. We will see if it happens, because there's a lot of different alts now.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters. I don't know if I'm gonna do every class because I just
Because then
don't have to.
you'll want to
Then I'll
play
have to
every
play it.
class,
Yeah. No. It's either that or just like I'm not interested in other classes really.
right?
I kind of found like my three that I really like, which is Evoker, Feral, and Shadow Priest.
Nice, nice. What do you think you're gonna main?
Evoker.
Evoker. Yeah, all right. So you settle on
And
Evoker now.
yeah, I love it,
Nice,
man.
nice, nice. Awesome.
And if my first all will probably be Feral. It's just a melee to have, and I think Ferals are really strong.
Yeah, yeah, they've been very, very strong. I'm expecting they'll get nerfed at some point for AOE just based off of that. I don't. They may have already gotten a little bit of nerf. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, their AOE consistency is really. The AOE burst is not like crazy like some classes, but their consistent AOE damage is very good.
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So add-on of the week, we are gonna cover weak auras today, and
Hmm.
that's we're not gonna go full into detail weak auras because holy cow, weak auras are they yeah, weak auras are something else.
In
There's
the mouth.
so much stuff you can do with that. Let me swap to this. There we go. Um, all right, yeah. So weak auras. Here are weak auras. Let me make that a little bigger. So in weak auras, you can make so many things. Um, there's a website wago.io, wago.io. You could import weak auras that other people have made. A lot of mine are imported. I also have a lot that I've made myself, just because there's certain ways that I like it. Um, but like my experience bar up here, that's a weak aura that I've imported. Now my havoc stuff right here, I've got my energy bar, and then different buffs when they're active. I can see exactly right there when they're active, and it tells me how much time is left on them. All sorts of different ways. Let me walk you through making a quick basic weak aura real quick. So you just click new aura. I usually make a pre-made one. So like for me, you can make a progress bar, and you can choose horizontal or vertical. That's how I made my resource bar. So let's take a vertical bar, and then you click your resources. As a demon hunter, all you have is fury. So now it's made a fury bar, and then boom, we have a fury bar, and it names it. You can change the colors on here, bar color, whatever color you want it to be, background color. There's a lot of different details in here that you can change as to like text and stuff. I'm not going to get into all of it because as you can see, you've got all these different things that pop up, different ways you can do it to make whatever you want it to do. Um, you can also make stuff for like an icon. So you can make a large icon to show your buffs or your debuffs, picking whatever buff it is you're wanting to look at so you know when it's up. If you're gonna be a demon hunter, you're gonna momentum build. You're gonna want this momentum one here because that'll tell you when you have that buff up and help you manage it. Um, Let me see if I can find some of the ones that have been made. Here we go. So let's show these off real quick. So like these are all the ones that Luxthos has made. Shout out to Luxthos. He makes some of the top weak auras that players use, some of the most used ones. He makes all sorts of stuff for every class pretty much. Let me delete this so it's not in the way. So like this has a ton of information on it, but this is showing everything expanded. So let me just activate these. Um, Alex, what do you use your weak auras for while I get these active?
Just, where's well, mine's disactivated for some reason. Weak auras right there. Let me reload. I don't have a lot right now. I don't think weak auras. I only have. Oh yeah, I have like the Tazvesh Veiled market trading one.
Yep,
From you
yep.
remember it? Yeah. I have some PvP ones. I have a monk one for keeping track of keepers, a one for fell bombardment for demon hunter. Have a blunderbuss one for my rogue.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have too many. I'm actually just looking at the website right now, looking to see if they have anything for Evoker yet, but I don't think I see anything.
Yeah, it'll probably be a couple days before they get that. I'm sure Luxos will have some up soon. I can help you look afterwards as well.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see Evoker tab right
Nice.
now.
So yeah. So anyway, I've got the Demon Hunter one split up here. So this is Luxos Demon Hunter one. So you've got the
Oh
different
yeah.
icons, and it's all based off your talents. So you've got Immolation Aura. You use that. It gives you a countdown. Let me go over to a training dummy. But it tells you, how long the buff is up for, and then it'll tell you how long the cooldown is. So now it's got 10 seconds on its cooldown. You've got all the different abilities that are up there. Just run over to the training dummies. You can kind of see what it looks like in combat. It gives you all sorts of information. And the way that he has his built is it'll change based off what talents you're using. So like we use I-beam here. Now all the abilities change because we've got our meta is up on metamorphosis form. Highlights when stuff's proccing. You can use your meta here. Fellblade cooldowns. It just tells you how many charges, what the cooldown is. Use your interrupt, hunt, Chaos Nova. Over here, it's got different dots that are on the enemy target that'll tell you. Actually, that's I think from my actual unit frames. But yeah, no, it tells you all your energy resources. What are those? Oh, that's my. So that like the screen bar here is my Fell Rush. The little skinny pink bar down here is like your GCD cooldown, so you know when you can actually hit a button. But no, it's really cool. They've got tons of different recores. Every class has some out there. What I originally used to do is I would take others' recores like this and then scrap it into pieces and take what I like from it. And then now, like I said, I've started making my own that I just are set up because I found a format that I like, and I set up my own on there. But there's a lot of other things that WeakAuras can do too, aside from just class type stuff. So, for example, a WeakAura that Alex and I are using is, um, I don't know if it's on here or not. I don't think it is, but
Is
on
it the
the shared,
shared
yeah.
quest?
So we have one that will share the quests with each other. I think we need to actually probably
Get that up
import
for
that on
live.
here, yeah, because that would suck not have that. But then you have like this quest here. This was for the maze in Mists of Tyrannus Shrine. And it would have a little thing that popped up. You click it, and to get the little icons sorted out and know which of the four was the correct one. I've got stuff for tracking Necrotic for Mythic Plus. I've got all sorts of core ones for different classes and stuff in here. But there's a bunch of different things that Weak Auras can do. Um, it's a high learning curve to create your own, but never be afraid to create a weak aura, play with it, see what's going on, look them up. If you want a weak aura to do a certain thing, just Google it, and there will be some guide that'll probably show you how to do it, or they might even have one that's already made. But weak auras are very critical for high end gameplay, especially. It's just almost everybody that's playing, in heroic rating or higher, Mythic Plus and stuff, they're using all sorts of weak auras. They
Yeah.
do have an app, like a desktop app for weak auras, that helps you like keep your weak auras up to date. It's all right. It's not the greatest thing, but it works. Um, so you can feel free to download that. But yeah, on CurseForge or whatever client you use for um, your add-ons, you can go on there and add on and install weak auras as an add-on. And once you have that installed, you can go to the wago.io site and then import any weak auras from there. Yep, that is pretty much it for weak auras. Let me turn these off because I don't use them anymore. There we go. Load. Never. There's a lot of other things. So like, there's with like triggers and stuff in here. You can have it so they only activate at certain times. That's how I make my buff ones. So like immolation aura. If it's right here, if you close weak auras, it only shows up. Well, now it's not showing up because weak aura is probably not active. Actually, it's out of date. I need to update all my weak auras as well. On beta, I've got them corrected, but with all the talent changes, a lot of the spell IDs have worked, and a lot of old weak auras don't work anymore. Um, but yeah, so like this here will show you with the trigger, you can sell it so only when you have the buff for that aura, then it will work. Actually, while I'm here, let me just demonstrate how this works. So right here, if you hover over here, you have an ID in the bottom left corner there, 258920, which is actually the exact same aura, so I don't know why it's not working. I'll have to look into that later. But yeah, so you would normally you hover over the icon and it'll show you the ID for the icon, and then you can type in that. So then if you only want it to show when that buff is up, that's how you get it to show just that buff when it's active and not when it's not active. Again,
Oh,
not sure why mine's not working. My
before we finish,
Yes.
we thought we should bring up is the Twitch drops.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So the Twitch drops. Go ahead and go into
So,
that. Yep.
so, I have a page open right here. So we have the first Twitch drop, which is basically watch somebody that has drops enabled on Twitch for WoW. It works for Wrath players and retail players, I believe. And the first one's on November 15th, so the 18th. So you have tonight and tomorrow, and you watch 4 hours, and you get a dragon kite pet, which is pretty cool. I got mine. It's a pretty cool pet actually. Um, you don't have to watch all 4 hours at the same time. Just try and get them in. You just gotta hook up your Twitch account to your World of Warcraft, your Battle.net, or other way around, I should say. Hook your yeah. Um, and then the next drop is on launch night, the 28th, till December 1st, and this is the one that is most important. You get the Feldrake, the trading card mount, trading card game mount that costs a lot of money. That some people are mad about, but I don't care. It's a
Right.
cool mount. I really
Yes,
like
it
the
is.
mount. So that's another 4 hour one, and that's like I said between November 28th and December 1st. I should probably clarify on the 28th. It starts at 3 p.m. PST. So from wherever you're at, different. But then the third drop is just a firework toy, just kind of meh. But this one lasts a lot longer. It starts on December 13th and it goes till December 28th. And that one is watching only 2 hours to get that toy. Yeah, so make sure you hook up your Twitch account, your Battle.net, watch some streamers, get your loot, because I'm sure they will not have the same items for next expansion if they do something similar like this again.
Right. Yep.
And you want to get
And
that Feldrake.
just some rules on it. You can't open up two Twitch streams, and it will not count double. You only get credit from one Twitch stream. So like
Right.
if you have two playing at the same time and you play it for an hour, you're only going to get credit for an hour of playing.
Yeah.
You can switch between different streamers and stuff. Absolutely. If I watch Bioshock stream, if you watch Bioshock stream for 30 minutes and then watch my stream for 30 minutes afterwards,
You get an
you
hour.
get an hour. Um,
Yeah.
once you complete it and get like right now it's a 4-hour one. Once those 4 hours are up, you go to. Let me pull this up here because I know we were kind of trying to figure this out yesterday a little bit, or Tuesday night I think.
What the Twitch stuff?
Yes. So you go
Yeah, if you go to
to.
your channel, you go to drops and rewards
Yep.
in
Yeah.
your
Yep. Click on drops
yeah.
and rewards, and it'll be down there. You claim it now. Don't freak out if you don't get it right away when you click
Like I did.
claim, because yeah, it seems like it's taking about 10 to 12 hours for it to show up
Yeah,
in game before you after you collect it. I think it's just a big delay there. It takes Blizzard a while to get everything
yeah,
information changing hands and all that stuff. But yep, so yes, the next one I believe is the launch night, right? And that's the
yeah,
Feldrake one.
yeah.
Yes, definitely get the Feldrake because that's going to be a cool mount. You can watch our stream that night. I know there'll be some other
I
streams
know.
going on that.
I know. I have my drops enabled.
Yep, yeah. I don't know if mine. I don't know. I have mine set to be enabled, but I don't know if I ended up. I don't know if mine ended up doing it because it didn't seem like it was doing it when I was looking at it. I'm
Right.
not positive though. It's something I gotta try to figure out and
Now
see.
the question is, if I'm streaming and I can't get it from my own stream, can I watch a stream while I'm streaming and get it?
I think so. Like you can't watch. I don't know if watching your own stream works. Um, but I do think that you can watch, like if you're watching someone else's stream, well, even while you're streaming, it should still count towards it.
Right. Yeah. It's probably the bet 'cause I want to make sure I get it and have time in case I have any problems.
Right.
I don't want to do it on like the last day of being able to get it and just have it for some reason not work.
Yeah. No, I'll be. Like I said, we got 3 days I think on launch night, right? Or is it four
Yeah.
days?
28th, 29th, 30th. Yeah, you got 4 days.
Yeah. So we'll have plenty of time. Even if you're leveling up during launch, you'll have plenty of time to go back and watch, or watch live streams after you're done leveling up and whatever. If you're busy, you've got 4 days to do it, so there's plenty of time. I think it only needs to be for 4 hours. Pretty sure.
Yeah, for the Feldrake.
Yeah. Yep.
The,
Four
yeah,
four
it's 4
hours.
hours.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, no, it's very easy to go and get these. Um, I had it. I got most of mine from just watching Bioshock stream the other night. While I was at work, I had him on, and then he closed his stream when I had like 10 minutes left before I would have gotten it. So jerk. But
Calculated.
right. But no, definitely go get your Twitch drops. Good rewards on there. There we go. I got my ammo. I got my emulation aura working now correctly. All right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for the podcast this week.
Yep. Well, what about your week of WoW? What'd you do this week?
Uh, pre-patch stuff. Evoker, mostly Evoker. Um, and some BGs and the invasion stuff. I haven't really done much. I've been playing a lot with my parents recently because they're kind of coming back to the game at the end of the expansion, so they're pretty under geared. So I think I saw them on earlier when we first got on, but they're farming away on their tunes and getting all their gears, all their characters gears, stuff like that. So I've
Right.
been playing a lot with my parents, which is kind of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, yep. As for myself, basically same thing, doing some pre-patch stuff, and then just practicing speed runs because I want to get that time down. I want to be perfect on launch night.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun event, fun night. Like I said, we'll have some more info hopefully on that in the future. But yeah, right now we've just been practicing, practicing, practicing. And I think that's kind of what we're going to be doing this week as well. Practicing, practicing,
Yeah.
practicing. Um, I don't know if we'll do. I don't know if we're going to do one after this or not, but we'll figure that out. What we're going to do next.
Yeah.
But yeah, nope. It's going to be a fun time. I think Dragonflight's going to be a fun expansion.
I think it's
Um,
It's looking pretty good. I think
Yeah.
I'm hoping we just get lucky, but they fix a lot of the bugs with the questing, which I was really pleased to see.
Yes, yeah. Finally, some of the bugs that we've had for a couple months now in the questing have finally gotten fixed, which is good. They're finally
Yeah,
getting to that stuff. So hopefully, maybe that's the phase we're in now, is just fixing all the bugs. I'm hopeful for launch night there won't be
polishing
issues.
it up.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Hopefully, there won't be issues on launch night. My biggest fear is still DDoS attacks. That's I really hope we don't get any, but I feel like we're gonna end up having DDoS attacks on launch night, just because people love to be jerks and cause DDoS attacks, which don't
Yeah,
really hurt the company that much. They just hurt everyone who wants to play the game. Um,
yeah.
you know, so if you're doing it as a form of protest against Blizzard, I get it, but
Please
don't
don't.
do something different. like, because all you're doing is hurting those of us that want to play. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully there aren't any DDoS attacks. Hopefully everything goes smoothly
Hope,
that launch.
yeah, hope for a clean launch.
Yep, it'll be
All I
a.
want for Christmas is a clean launch.
I also want something to eat because I'm hungry.
I had a
uh,
salad.
ew, green
It was a Caesar.
stuff.
It was a Caesar salad. It was
It's
delicious.
even worse. Like more green
What?
stuff. My salad needs to have like 3 different types of meat in it. Bacon is a requirement, not your nasty
there,
Canadian
there's
bacon.
there's bacon and cheese and chicken in mine. I really liked it.
Yeah, was it nasty Canadian bacon? You sickos.
What are we gonna? How many times we gotta go through this?
Well, until you guys improve your Canadian bacon and make it actually good, like our bacon. USA,
so so
USA,
troll, man.
USA. For those of you that don't get the joke, Canadians didn't make Canadian bacon. Americans did, and it was terrible, so we just named it after after Canada.
Canadians.
Yeah, after like it was Canadian bacon was literally made in New York City, and they're like, "Oh, this is terrible. We'll call it Canadian bacon." But yeah, so I blame Canada anyway. I
Me
mean,
too.
you know. All right. I think
All right.
that just about wraps it up for tonight's
Yeah.
podcast. It's a
Yeah.
little bit shorter than usual. I think we stretched it out a little bit.
Everything good.
But yeah, get out there, do your pre-patch stuff, have fun, get your alts leveled, whatever. The WoW anniversary buff is still up. The Winds of Wisdom buff is gone. Um, also, for people who are having issues thinking, that with the covenants and stuff, originally when it first pre-patch first hit this last phase, um, and Threads of Fate was gone, you had to do the Shadowlands campaign to get your covenant. You do not have to do that anymore. They put in a Threads of Fate where you
Yeah.
just select it. You don't actually do the Threads of Fate, but you don't have to do all of Shadowlands to get your campaign selected. Um, Granted, it's not that big of a deal. Like right now, yeah, you want your Covenant campaign for this, but when Dragonflight launches, your Covenant campaign abilities don't work in Dragonflight anyway, so it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal. But y'all were freaking out on the forums and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal, guys. Really not. Really not.
When the forums, man, it's just
For
different kind of people. It's just Walmart people.
forums are. Oh man, I love Taliesin and Evatel's, their take on forums, because they're 100% right. The forums are absolute garbage. You go into the forums. I spent a lot of time in the forums this last beta because I'm trying to figure out stuff for the bugs, if I'm the only one experiencing it, so if it's on my end or if it's on Blizzard's end. And let me tell you, the forums, for every one forum topic that has good information and a good post and is a worthwhile post to post, there's about 10 others that are, Blizzard's a dead game. Wow, my dragon riding dismounted me. Blizzard's so broken. Blizzard's terrible. This game is dead. Oh, Blizzard, why do you hate WoW? Why do you hate all of us? Oh, why are you trying to kill the game? Are you making WoW too? Is that why you're trying to kill original WoW? Like, it's just all it is nonstop on the forums. It's ridiculous.
Walmart people, man.
It is. It is. It
It's a
is.
different breed of people.
It's a whole different energy, man. It is. It is crazy. Um,
Yeah. So,
uh,
anyways, you can follow us. You can see mine on Twitch, QQ Bioshock.
yep.
My YouTube's the same. I'm not really making any content yet for YouTube. I was gonna make some Evoker PvP stuff, but I'm waiting to Dragonflight for that.
Yeah, first you're waiting till pre-patch. Now you're waiting till Dragonflight. Then
Well,
you'll wait
I
till
was
this
going.
next thing.
I was. I probably would have done some for the
If
pre-patch
you
with
weren't
Evoker.
sick.
That and also if my gear is equivalent to everyone else.
All right. Now I think you should still make some stuff, man. You should. All you gotta do is record and then edit out what you don't want in there. Make some
True.
content. Give the people what they
Yeah.
want.
I definitely have plans to make YouTube content, so I'll probably announce it in a podcast when I actually do. But that expect that in probably about a month.
Right. Right. Yep. And then I've got my last speedrun attempt is on my YouTube channel, which is Buckblind the Demon Hunter. And then you can also look me up at Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Buckblind, and Twitter for however long Twitter still exists, because right now it is a crumbling, collapsing dumpster fire right now on Twitter. Good
Yeah.
lord. But yeah, you can look me up at Twitter at BuckblindDH. But yes, on YouTube, check out my last speed run. It is the world record speed run. I haven't seen anything faster. It's not on speedrun.com because it's not an official speedrun because it had the WoW anniversary buff. But 5 hours and 12 minutes to go from level 8 to level 60. I dare you to do better than that. I know right now it's not going to be possible because you don't have the Winds of Wisdom anymore. Um,
Right.
but yeah, no, it's a fantastic speed run. The first part, the Demon Hunter starting zone is a little slower, about 10 minutes slower than I wanted it to be, or what it normally is. But other than that, after that, I mean, it was smooth sailing. I didn't have to do the evil quests that Blizzard puts in Redwood, Red Ridge Mountains quest, the one
Oh,
where the one where you have to stealth through.
yeah,
Oh, I hate
yeah.
that quest so much. It's a guarantee you're gonna die almost every time. It's so annoying. You have an NPC escorting you, and he aggro's elite. Everything there is an elite. So you basically, if you aggro one, if you blow all your cooldowns, you might live. If you aggro more than one, you're probably gonna die. And he aggro's every time. And I didn't. I was able to not even do that quest because I was already like level 30. I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to Duskwood and not even bother with that. So that was great. It was a lot more fun that way. Went really smooth. I was really happy with it. Um, yeah, go check that out. The podcast will be up there as well, the YouTube channel, and then we'll see if we can get Bioshock to start putting up some videos here this week.
Yeah, most of my content's probably gonna be related around PvP, maybe Mythic Plus
Right.
in some scenarios, but probably mostly PvP.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing we did. I did a battleground with you guys last night, and absolutely dominated. It was so much better than Bioshock, 100% better. Like world's best PvP player here. Yeah, just annihilated Bioshock. Bioshock didn't even have a chance. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe
Lowest damage is the best, right?
it's a golf game.
Oh, it's like golf. Lowest damage wins. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm very new to PvP. Not necessarily new, but I don't PvP. Um, for example, my Demon Hunter that I was playing on, I've had him since when did I make this character? I've had him since at least the start of Shadowlands, probably before Shadowlands, honestly. Yeah, because I transferred him over. I had this character during all of BFA. Um,
Yeah.
and this Demon Hunter, uh, in the battleground last night, I hit 100 honorable kills. That was the achievement that popped up during the battle. That's how little PvP I do. I've had him for 4 years, and he just now hit his 100th honorable kill. Um, yeah, I avoid PvP like the plague, but I will probably start doing some in this expansion. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
look forward to that. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we will wrap this up. Hope all of y'all have a good week. We will have a podcast next week, even if we are both dying on our deathbed, we're gonna do a podcast because I want to get one more in before launch night,
Yeah.
especially if we're able to announce the big news. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
and anyway, yeah, keep an eye on our socials for those updates and information. If we get that information, we'll post it on there quickly as well. But
Yeah.
get ready for launch because we've got about 12 days, and no, 10 days. We have 10 days, and
Yep.
then dragons.
Woohoo, Darkins.
All right, y'all have a great week. Have a great night. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.
Bye. See you later.